It's been a little bit, yeah? Been a little bit.
It's been a little bit.
A little bit
And a
since
lot of
we've
it.
done one of these things. But that's because we took a break. A much
Yeah.
needed one, if you ask me.
Yes, we needed to save our listeners and give them a break too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Give them time to spend with their families and loved ones, and for us to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
now,
did, right?
yes.
Oh, okay.
I did. I was at work for a little bit of it, but, you know.
Yep. What can you do?
But, yeah, exactly. But now, it's 2018.
And I'm
And
another year older.
yes, you are another year older, and we, as a group, as R&R, we're back! Hello, and welcome to episode 27 of the R&R Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Byron Reed, and alongside me is my co-host.
Ken Rusty.
It's time to talk about some of the new stuff.
Yeah.
New stuff being games that we are looking forward to in 2018. Instead of doing what we did, I think last year we did like a top 10 or top 5 for games we're looking forward to in 2018.
Right.
We decided not to do that this year because we had so many games, it'd be kind of tough to narrow it down to just 5 or 10, let alone put them in an order.
Right.
So, strap in your seatbelts there, kids, and get your snacks and all that stuff, because it's going to be a long ride.
Yeah. Strap in your seatbelts and take one ear pod out of your ear, because it's illegal to have them both in.
And be safe when you're driving on the road.
Yeah. Look out, there's a dog!
Oh, God.
Oh.
R&R is not responsible for,
R&R is not responsible for you maiming or torturing dogs on the road with your car.
Yeah. Terrible, but we're going to roll it. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to do that, talk about the games we're looking forward to in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got some other things planned for you. This is season 2 of the podcast, and we are part of the Joystick Entertainment Network. In case you didn't know, now you know. Anyway.
Hashtag sponsored.
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, let's
They sponsor us with good vibes.
yeah, good vibes from Joystick and all that. Yeah, so let's jump into to our list of games for 2018, shall we?
Sure.
Did you want to go ahead and start?
Sure, I'll start.
Yeah.
The first game I'm looking forward to that comes out actually very soon. In fact, probably by the time this episode airs, it should be released. And that is Digimon Story CyberSleuth Hacker's
I saw
Memory.
that on the list. I was like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is actually the sequel to Digimon Story CyberSleuth that I played.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure how the story takes place. Like, if it's a sequel, if it actually takes place during the story of the original game, because a lot of characters are coming back that were in the first game. And so I'm still not quite sure how they're doing this. If this is like a prequel that sets up before, or if it's during like another story, or if it's actually taking place after that. So I'm really intrigued to get my hands on this and find out what exactly is going on. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. You know, pretty standard RPG fare. Playing with Digimon, you can level them up, you can combine them, or I guess they call it fuse them, or depending on how you treat them also, you can level them up or evolve them into a different type of Digimon. And they got some pretty cool pre-order bonuses for your characters as well, which aren't too bad. But that's my first game that I'm looking forward to in 2018.
Very nice, very nice. I'm looking forward to seeing how you react to that one, because I haven't played a Digimon game since Digimon World on PlayStation. So
Right.
And that was my game back in the day, man. I love that game.
Right.
But
great.
but yeah, man. My first game is Monster Hunter World. Comes out on January 26th, and this is the sixth primary title in the Monster Hunter series. And I've never played a Monster Hunter game in my life, but I saw gameplay of this one, and I was like, okay, you have my interest. Now it seems like it's definitely gonna be one of those games where it's better to play with friends instead of solo. You can play solo, which is fine. That's always fine with me too. But playing with your friends in a game like this, I think it's just gonna make it that much better, in my opinion. I've
Mm-hmm.
Over the break, I've watched a little bit of stuff about Monster Hunter and tips and tricks how to get started and everything. Even at Magfest, one of the girls we were rooming with, she had Monster Hunter on her 3DS, and she was showing me and another friend a little bit about it, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty dope. So I'm looking forward to playing it for the first time and experiencing it all for myself.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that'll be interesting to hear how you enjoy Monster Hunter World. It might actually be better having a world where you play with other people, because the limited experience I've gotten with it, it seemed
Hmm.
like the monsters were way overpowered. Like it took hours to kill the monsters, and they kept
Right.
running off, and you have to go find them, and it wasn't exactly my cup of tea, that version that I played. I think it was
Hmm.
the 3DS version is what I played. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to find out how that works, and if that works out better having multiple people, multiple friends playing. Because unless I'm wrong, this might be the first title in the Monster Hunter series where you're actually playing with other people at the same time.
Correct. According to Wikipedia, anyway, it will feature much larger maps, seamless transitions between zones in the map, and four-player online co-op, and will allow players globally to play together. A first in the series.
Right. Cool.
So yeah. Oh, by the way, should have prefaced this before we actually started this list. Um, this list does not mean that these are all games that we're going to play in 2018, because money and stuff. But these are all games we're looking forward to in 2018 because we got a
Yeah.
lot of games here. So
And if you're a publisher and listening to this, we will gladly take a preview copy and play it and tell everybody.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
Not against that in any way.
Right? Um, all right. So the next game that I am looking forward to on the list is Lost Sphere. This is coming out on, I believe, all major consoles, maybe the Switch first. And this is from the same guys that did that one game that was like Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
I should have really done some research and figured out the name before I was like on air here. But no, it's very similar to the Chrono Trigger in its battle style. It's not a sequel, but it's going to have the same type of gameplay as the other game. And again, I do believe it's going to premiere on the Switch first and then on every other console. And it looks pretty good. I love me a good storytelling RPG. I don't think I need to reiterate how much I love those. But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool, and it comes out really soon here in January 23rd.
That's awesome. I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to again, just hearing what you think about it.
Right.
That's exciting. Very exciting. The next game on my list is Dragon Ball Fighter Z, not Dragon Ball Fighters. Just
Right.
heads up.
Yeah, I'm not playing a game called Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z. That's a terrible idea.
That sounds like back in the day when you just put Z's on the end of words to make them sound edgy and cool.
Right.
Yeah, like the sharks. but
Like jazz.
yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's a fighting game. I love fighters, even though I'm not that good at them. But the the Dragon Ball fighting series in general is one that I've always been interested in. The last one that I played though was Budokai 2, so it's been a while. But this one, the art style and everything else, just has me interested. If you've seen gameplay of this, you'll know immediately why I'm excited for it. And if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z or probably just fighting games in general, I'm pretty sure you'll be a fan of this one, and looking forward to this one, having it on your list as well. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
The picture that I have there, which you should see, is Vegeta kicking Cell in the area, and it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to doing that and then some.
Well, it's kind of funny because they had a open beta for people to play this
Yeah, and I
game.
missed it 'cause I was away.
Yeah, I downloaded the demo and then never played it.
Ah,
Yeah, so I don't know
I think
how
they're
it
doing an
plays or
open one
anything.
soon, I think.
Yeah, I know people that are into Dragon Ball are totally like saying this is going to be a rocking game and that the open beta was really cool and it was awesome and fun. But we'll have to see what happens and make sure that the game actually will continue to inspire the Dragon Ball
Yeah.
fighters. Zzz.
Yes. Yeah, truly bastard.
Yeah. So next game on my list is also dragon related. Wink,
Oh.
wink. That's because I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest Builders. Woo! Yeah.
Builders? Okay. Sorry, I heard the word builders and I was like,
Well,
You build dragons? Like, that sounds cool.
I don't know if you can build them, but it's
Also
kind of
doesn't make
like I mean, you know what the game series Dragon Quest is, right?
Isn't it another RPG?
Yeah, it's an RPG
Yeah.
where you go around murdering stuff. The original designs were from Akira Toriyama, the guy that drew Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Yeah. So, with this game, it's kind of like they said, what if we took the world of Dragon Quest and added Minecrafty stuff to it, where you have like the blocks and you're destroying stuff with the blocks and you crafting stuff and all this goodies, and you're like making towns and stuff, right? So now this game actually was released back in 2016, but here's the kicker. They're releasing a Switch version in just a short month on February 19th, and everyone will be able to get this for the Switch. And then there's also Dragon Quest Builders 2 that is supposed to come out sometime later this year on PlayStation 4 and Switch. Now, I was able to play the demo. They have a demo on Nintendo Switch that you can play.
Okay.
And honestly, I was not really interested in this game, but I played the demo anyways because as long as you give me a taste, I'll try something, see if it's my cup of tea.
Right.
And I gotta say that I did fall in love with this game. Like it's got that Minecraft quality where you can kind of go anywhere, do anything to it, but it has a story and it has a point, and it's like what?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm sold.
Right.
And so I definitely think this is a great sort of game that I can play on the go and play on the Switch. So I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest Builders and getting that and playing some more of that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, my man. I am looking forward to this one for the same reasons as you for a few other games. You get to fight people. It's EA Sports UFC 3. Yeah, I played both iterations of the game since they made their return and got the license for UFC. This is a sequel to 2014's game, and the main thing that I'm interested in this year, from what I've seen, is the career mode that they have. They've added a lot of things to the career mode to make it more meaningful, and the big thing is that they actually have you're gonna start in the in like a lower version of the UFC. I forget what they call it right now, but you're gonna start there, and then you may have a chance to get noticed and go to the Ultimate Fighter TV show, and then you would go from there to the UFC, or you would get noticed from this minor league division and go right to UFC. depending on how you perform, but the journey is what's important here. And they've
Right.
also added things like rivalries, so it's, oh hey, if I get into a rivalry with Conor McGregor, there'll be things like, weigh-ins where you'd go and, you get weighed and everything, and there might be some jawing back and forth between you two and things like that. And they're adding different things. They last year they had these things where what we're gonna call them incidents. So during your training camps, there'd be different incidents that would happen where your training camp might be cut short because of a water main break, or something like that
Hmm.
would happen, and it would cut down your training time, or and it would really impact how you prepare for your next fight. They've also changed the way the training camps work. Um, you now have a home gym, and then you can go out to other different training facilities and focus on specific things that they do, much like in EA Sports MMA, how you had different facilities that focus on different things like boxing or submissions or whatever. So there's that, and they give you a boost to whatever. I mean, like the career mode is the main thing that I'm interested in for EA Sports UFC 3. Also, if I can make a character look like myself, because if I can't, I'm bringing back Primetime Martinez, bringing back Erica Primetime Martinez for another year. So
All right.
let me make a character look like myself, EA, please. That's all I'm asking. It's not hard,
Yeah.
but apparently it is. Because last year I couldn't do it. I was disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I know that a lot of the friends that I guess our mutual friends are kind of miffed that this has such a great in-depth kind of story mode or character mode in it, and yet games like their Madden franchise, which sells way more, has like next to nothing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so I know a few of
Yep.
our friends are miffed about that.
Yep, they are, and
Um,
I believe I'm right there with them. I agree.
yeah, and then I mean you'll have to tell me how good it is, since you know me and I'm not into WWFC. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It comes out February 2nd, by the way,
nice.
for those that are interested. So that's kind of all I had for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the next game here that I'm excited to play in 2018 is the Secret of Mana remake.
Secret of Mana, yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So I mean, because this is a remake of a classic Super Nintendo game called The Secret of Mana, which they actually call it in Japan. It's Seiken no Densetsu 2. And man, like this game is so great. It's one of the few games for the original NES, Super NES, that actually made you having a multi-tap worth something.
Okay.
Because you can play by yourself with two user controlled characters, or you can play with three friends. Two friends, I guess. You're the third friend, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But no, you can play with multiple friends, and it's an action RPG similar to the original like Zelda games. So you'll have enemies on the map, and you'll swing at them with a sword and weapons. And if I recall, the original game had something like 10 different weapons you can use, like a spear, an axe, a boomerang, a sword, and they all had different statistics. And depending on how you wanted to play, if you were going to be back throwing stuff, had magic, so you could use magic attacks. Man, it was just a really great game back in the day.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm again like the big thing here is that just looking forward to seeing how the other responds to these games when they come out, and how the overall gaming community in general responds to them. So, gonna be a broken record here, but yeah.
Yeah. Eventually you won't be, but I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say with that. Classic game. Super excited to play for it. It's supposed to come out February 15th, so we'll find out next month. What's going on with that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Next on my list is doing something a little different. Far Cry 5. They are they are no longer doing a like tropical island setting. They're taking it to America, which has me interested alone. I'm really excited to see the sort of social commentary that they do, especially since they're a French developer. so,
Right.
so we're looking forward to seeing how that whole thing works out. Um, it's Far Cry, so yeah, I mean you know what you're gonna get in some respects, but from what I've seen, they're changing things as well. In addition to the setting, they're not doing. To my knowledge, like they're gonna let you really explore and find the story beats on your own, which again, like I had to see that in motion. That's kind of confusing to me, but I'll have to see it to really understand what they mean by that. You also get to create your character, which is a first.
That's interesting.
So, yeah. So again, the character looks like me. That'd be great.
Well, I wonder if they're going to do like the Fallout sort of thing, where you create your character, but he's still his own character, or if they're going to do create your character and he's mute.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. If I had to guess, probably what's gonna happen.
Well, one
Which
way
is
to
whatever.
circumvent that is that you have it where these bad guys cut off your tongue.
Oh God.
So that's why you
Terrifying.
can't talk.
It's terrifying. Jesus.
And that's why you need your revenge. Because
Yeah.
you loved licking stuff.
You love licking stuff. You know what? You know what? We're out of here, everybody. Have a good night. Yeah. That's an interesting plot for a game. I like it.
Yep.
Give me my tongue back. I like looking stuff. Although you can't talk, so it's whatever. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to Far Cry 5 and just seeing how they're gonna do everything, because it's gonna be interesting. Because it's not like a tropical island setting and all that other stuff. But yeah, I'm excited. March 27th is when that one comes out.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And I say interesting because the next game on my list, it actually comes out March 20th. And that is Rareware's Sea of Thieves. Holding for applause.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not right, though. I can find the next thing on my list, really.
Yeah. No, you're cool. No, so another multiplayer game where you play with a bunch of people. This time, though, you're playing with a bunch of scallywags who could be causing problems for you and your crew.
I forgot to put that on my list, but I'm also excited about that one, too.
Especially if they mutiny.
Yeah. We're gonna band together and be pirate friends and stuff, man. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Arr.
Yeah. Arg and all that stuff, yeah. But the art style is what really has my attention.
It does
Like,
have
you
a
know me,
pretty
I love
great,
games
yeah.
that look different from everything else, so...
Yeah, and it does have a pretty great and interesting art style. I'm just hoping that there's enough uniqueness to it to keep people playing. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
because if it's pretty much either it's all story based, so you're going through the story with your friends, which is still cool, or if it's just you have to find treasure and like does treasure randomly show up, or is it going to be something like how Player Unknown Battleground does it, and you're just loaded into a map with a bunch of people and you're like defeating them down, or like how does this concept work? Like, I'm really tempted just to pre-order so I can play the beta so that I can find out.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of on the fence because I want to find out before the beta.
Right.
Before I pre-order it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I haven't pre-ordered it yet for that same reason. Like, I wanna see more of it. I wanna play it for myself early, but it's kind of like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, it's still on my list. I still really want to play it, but Right now, I'm just trying to. I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to justify, if it's worth it, and so I want to find out a little bit more before I go and make that leap.
I was gonna say make the dive, but okay, that works.
Yeah. Before I walk the plank, me hearty.
Yes, there we go. There it is. Come full circle on power plants. Okay. So the next game on my list is MLB The Show 18, which comes out on March 27th, so same day as Far Cry 5. I'll probably pick up the show before Far Cry 5. But anyway, besides the point, I'm a huge baseball fan, as you would know, Ken. I don't know about the other listeners to the show, but I'm a huge baseball fan. So yeah, this is a game that I pick up every year. Besides the few that I missed, because it didn't have PS4. But anyway, I don't know much about it at the moment. The only thing I know is that, unfortunately for me as an O's fan, Aaron Judge was on the cover of the game, and I'm really disappointed.
Yep.
So, luckily, custom covers exist, so that's not a huge deal. But at the same time, it really doesn't matter too much because Tom Brady's on the cover of Madden. I also own that digitally, so I don't have to look at his face when I go to pick the game up. Out of my thing over here.
You still have to look at his face when you say you want to play it.
That's true. Smug face looking at me. Eye black on. but no, man. Once they start doing streams about the game and start talking about it more, then I will have more information for you guys, because I do plan on covering it here on the podcast and talking about it. So look forward to that whole thing. March 27th. They'll probably start doing streams. I'd imagine around February, or even late January, because spring training starts February. So yeah.
Yeah, probably. We'll probably get some more information.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were talking about it before we started recording, actually, that you were interested in possibly picking it up or something.
Well, I just had a curious question. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but everything left on my list doesn't have an actual release date, and so it may not come out in 2018.
Okay. Yeah, I have one more. I have a few that have quarter 4, quarter 1, 2 release dates.
Right.
So those are like tentative dates.
That's pretty much what my stuff is, but it doesn't have like an.
I have one more that has a release date. Everything else really doesn't.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with my next one then, and hope it gets released in 2018. Wink.
Yeah.
Because it actually does have a release date in Japan.
We are not Japan.
Yeah. Well, we could be.
We could not be, actually.
It could be if things had changed, but.
Ah, yes. I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
I see it. Okay. A little slow and fair.
Yeah. It's Wolfenstein 2 all over again. Anyways, getting into my next game that I'm excited for, Valkyria Chronicles 4. And so it has that it's coming out in March in Japan, but no release date for the Americas yet. Just coming 2018.
That sucks that there's no release date for the Americas yet.
Yeah, I'm just excited that we're getting it. I mean,
right? Yeah.
It could really come out in 2019, and I wouldn't care because I just want to get me some more Valkyria Chronicles because I love that series, love that game. Art style is fantastic. The way it plays is fantastic. It's just a great series that I'm glad is going to be continued. And this time, they're adding snow effects.
Ooh.
Yeah. There ain't been no snow effects as far as I'm aware.
Nice.
Until now.
That's awesome, though. I'm like I said, I hope we get a release date for the Americas. That way, we can talk about it.
Right. And play it.
On the show. Yeah.
Don't forget the play it part.
Yes, and play it. It's also important. But the next game on my list is We Happy Few. Comes out 2 days after my birthday, April 13th. It's on the Xbox preview program now. I played the trial of it, and I had a really good time with it. The art style, again, it's something that I really like. It takes place in a fictional English city of Wellington Wells.
Right.
It's following an alternate timeline of World War II events. And the whole premise of the game is that the background for the story anyway is that there's this drug called Joy, and the people that are using it to basically forget about the war and any of their problems, things like that. Your character decides not to take it anymore, and things happen from there. He gets kicked out of the place he's working at, and it just kind of goes off from there. But it's a survival. It's a survival exploration game.
Right.
And I remember when I was playing the trial, it took me a while to really figure out exactly what was going on and what I was supposed to be doing. But once I did figure it out, the trial ended. And I was upset. But I had enough time with it to say, okay, this is something that I definitely want to play when it actually releases.
Right.
And if you haven't seen gameplay or anything, I would suggest you check it out. I think it was really cool.
No, I played the trial to We Happy Few, and it was pretty close to when they just barely released the game on the game preview.
Mm-hmm.
So there really wasn't much to it as far as gameplay, like very, very basic as far as the game goes.
Yeah.
So I am excited for this as well, but I wasn't quite sure how, when you have games in game preview, does that count as them having already been released, or are they getting released now? So I kind of left it off just because of that.
Yeah.
But what I did play of it, and we talked about this, I think a few episodes ago.
I think about it a while back, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks really cool. Really cool.
It reminds me of BioShock. Like, I get a BioShock feel when I play it, when I look at it.
Yeah, I kind of get a Fable feel. Like,
okay.
I feel like I'm in a futuristic Fable village because they kind of act that way. They kind of have that kooky British flavor, if you will.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for it too. That'll be great to check that out in its full glory and have everything that's actually done instead of being like not even a % of the full game scope.
Right, exactly. We get to see the full vision and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that's going to do it for now. We had so many games that we're looking forward to in 2018 that we decided to take the rest of the games we have and push them over into next week's episode. But this episode isn't even done itself. You can still click on the little link there and go on to the new section where we talk about the latest and greatest in the news.